Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today is the day you have long been waiting for because you watched
Nick. Yow! Cage.
Okay. It started off good, got a little pitchy in the middle. He ended nicely, though. Yes, Nick Cage. This is the final episode of our Nick Cage season. We have been watching a whole bunch of Nick Cage films, and today we're going to talk about two very interesting films, two vastly different films, I'd argue. Well, maybe not so different now that I think about it for 3 seconds. The Family Man, which was a 1990 film, I believe.
It is from 2000.
Oh, 2000, yes, 2000. And then The Unbearable Weightness of Massive
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Wait, what is that? I don't like sentences or titles that are longer than 2 words. So, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
Yes.
Yes. Which is a more recent film, what,
2022.
Yeah, sweet. So, who, what, why, where we are here. Me, Mike Vanderpool, watched the movie Starcrash one night. Michael Klink, who is my right-hand man here today,
Because I'm on the right side.
He got roped into it. We started watching and talking about movies with our colleague here, Dr. Alan Barris, aka Dr. Love.
Hey, I have an idea. We should do a podcast like that, where we watch movies and we talk about WTF moments and quotes and things we took away from it, and we should make that a podcast.
I think it's a great idea.
That'd be crazy, right?
Crazy.
What do they call that? Do they call that meta? Or what do they call that? Self-referential? Like, I'm not sure. What's the word?
Meta humor would work, I suppose.
We could throw in some comedy bits, some knowledge about things.
And if we were to ever do a season about Nick Cage movies, you could come up with something called like the Nick Cage queries.
Yes,
Would
that'd be
work?
awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
That'd be amazing. We should do that. Write this down. Somebody write this down.
So this is basically what's going on here with the second film in our double feature. We got to come up with something shorter, say, than The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That's a lot of letters. The Massive Talent movie?
Unbearable Weight.
Unbearable Weight. There we go. The Unbearable Weight movie.
MB.
Oh, for frick's sake.
Or Weight, perhaps.
Listen, Alan and I both just finished our semester in academia. Fuck your acronyms. We're tired of them. No more, please.
Agreed.
Yes. So, I am the host of this shit show, and I'm joined by my colleagues here who are much smarter than I. We are savoring now an adult beverage.
We're not savoring it.
If you hear the clink, it's me. It's him. From Adventure something or other spirits. I don't know. It's pretty good. Well, what do you think? Do you like it?
I like it.
It's actually pretty smooth, right?
Clink is making a face like a cat has just licked something bitter, but
I love it. It's dangerously smooth for a
It's
bourbon.
smoother than the other things you made me drink.
So I will probably say some inappropriate things later on, which is no different than other podcasts that we do. Speaking of inappropriate things, holy smoke, The Family Man. This movie, I don't know, we'll probably bounce around between them, I think. Probably makes sense. But I'll set up The Family Man. Somebody else can set up The Unbearable Weight.
okay.
But The Family Man is a wonderful life-ish type movie where Nick Cage as Jack Campbell, early on in the film, or the very first scene of the film, he's at the airport with Kate, who is played by, what's her name?
Téa Leoni.
Téa Leoni, who, holy ractacular.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my goodness. She is stunning in this film. They're at the airport. She pleads with him not to leave on this trip. They're college graduates, blah, blah, blah. He leaves on the trip. 13 years later, he's a big, huge, successful Wall Street kind of mover and shaker. Insert a Magic Negro who gives him a different life.
Can you say that? Can we say that?
It is
Yes,
a
I
term.
can say that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a term.
All
It's
right.
like Bagger Vance, Will Ferrell,
okay.
or Will Ferrell.
Especially since it's a genre that we should be contemptuous of.
Yeah.
As much as I love Don Cheadle, I mean...
That is the proper term, though, correct? I mean,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, is there a better term to use?
No.
Yeah.
There
Right.
isn't.
The problem is,
because
like, there's a whole, like,
it's insulting.
there's the spliff in his hat there. His hat's backwards. He says yo a lot. And, like, dude, come on now. They really get played up. I'm like, they don't have to play that up.
Still love Don Cheadle, but anyway.
Yeah, Don Cheadle's amazing.
Basically, Nick Cage is given a view at a different life. And shenanigans.
He gets a glimpse.
a glimpse is
the word that they use in the movie.
So, and then at the end, they live happily ever after. Amen.
Do they, though?
No, they don't. We're going to talk about that.
So
This is actually a fairly ambiguous, perhaps even depressing movie.
Yeah.
Don't think about it if you actually want to enjoy it.
So I cried the last 30 minutes of this film. It was that sad for me.
Was that when he was leaving?
That started, yes, when you started to realize that his previous life, or I shouldn't say, how do we determine? Like he has his Wall Street life and then his Joe Blow life, right?
And then his glimpse.
Yes, his glimpse into what life would have been like if he wouldn't have gone to Wall Street.
And then he returns to his Wall Street life.
Yes.
And it is crushingly depressing.
Because he doesn't...
Despite the fact that he was perfectly happy.
That's why...
beforehand.
Is Don Cheadle a demon?
See, I think we
Is he
can talk
evil?
about this because
like an evil leaper?
we don't know what. Yeah,
I'm going to talk about that too.
We don't know what side Don Cheadle's character is working for.
Although he does give a bell to bring him back to come back, right? Which reminded me again of It's a Wonderful Life.
Getting wings, but
But Satan wasn't, or Lucifer was an angel too, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, we've got that. But I really did. I cried the whole entire back end of the film because his glimpse is into a rudimentary life, but he has things of value there, like 2 kids, one being the daughter, who is the one he talks to the most. And
Daughter's amazing.
his interaction with that, whoever played that character, the daughter, is phenomenal.
Yes.
Those interactions were phenomenal. I had just earlier that day podcast with my daughter, who's 13. So like I was prime, dude.
yeah.
But then again, like if we think about, I've only really started to look at movies or noticed movies when Avengers, what was the second one?
Age of Ultron?
Endgame? No, Endgame.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry, in the whole Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
When the guy with the bow and arrow, Hawkeye, is out there shooting with his daughter, and then she vanishes.
Yeah.
That was the fastest I've ever cried in any movie.
Yep.
But that was one of the first times I've actually felt like they've intentionally tried to make dads cry.
yeah, yeah.
But now I'm realizing, holy stuff, this has been going on for a little bit longer.
Wow,
than
it
that,
turns
right?
out really easy.
Yeah, seriously. And then at the end of that movie is phenomenal. I can't wait to talk about that. But this was, oh geez, I don't know, man. I didn't have a lot of notes for this one. And I wonder if that was just because I enjoyed it.
I had the same problem with Unbearable Weight.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got lots of notes about both.
I've got notes about him, but yeah. So like the fact that you have such lax security in the airport. I was like, what the hell is this?
And we will have to be kind of specific about what we're talking about, right?
Sorry,
So you're
yes.
talking about the family
man. So Téa Leoni's character and Nicolas Cage's character are at the airport, and he's about to get on the plane, and that's when they say goodbye. That's crazy to me. Just the fact that you can be at the gate. And then
Did it all the time.
Well, exactly, yeah. So I don't
Pre
know.
9/11.
Yeah, exactly. But when I was 8 years old is when I was on a plane the last time, and then adult. So very different experiences, obviously.
You'll also notice the poster in the background for Pan Am, which went defunct in 1991. So the movie was drawing attention to the fact that it was in 1987, right from the beginning.
Yeah, we get that title at the very beginning of 1987.
Yeah,
and then we get a title after he goes into the plane. Then he wakes up and we get 13 years later as the subtitle or the title on the screen. And he is a very likable character throughout this whole movie, right? Yeah. I mean,
with one exception, he gives us the weakest, saddest attempt at a growl ever. It's when he and his fuck buddy are talking, and he does this like meow thing. It's just oh, honey, are you trying to convince me you're heterosexual with that?
Yes. Also, I know we're kind of skipping ahead, but is he supposed to be handsome? Because he's
got money. It doesn't.
No.
matter.
When he's in the other dimension, the other reality,
the glimpse.
Which one?
In the glimpse. Like, Téa Leoni is like all about him, obviously, because she loves him. But then the redhead lady, she was all about him too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a movie, Clink.
Oh, I understand that, but the way that they're talking, it was almost like, oh, you're such a beautiful woman, or oh,
so
like we've talked about in the past.
How do I say this politely? We live in the Midwest, correct?
We do.
Sure.
There's something I call a Midwest 8 versus when I've lived in other places, and 8s in Florida are different than 8s in the Midwest.
We're gonna talk about that later because there's a line that is actually a very poignant line. although kind of sexist at the same time, I guess, like all good poignancy is. And it doesn't make any sense to be spoken in this movie.
Oh, that's
But
a tease.
we're gonna get there.
So, yeah, Nick Cage in this is like I mean, if you compare him to the guy that owns the car dealership, who's an old man, to Jeremy Piven's character, to the other guys he's bowling with, right? The fact that his gut is only slightly hanging over. Actually, no, Nick Cage is pretty freaking hot in this, right?
Well, he has to be. He's got 2 underwork scenes.
Yeah, he's exactly up front. We see him in his what was that movie? American Psycho looking kind of set up there.
Singing opera.
Yeah, singing opera. So,
with the music sheet in front of him.
I mean, Nick Cage in The Glimpse is just a guy who, with a little bit of money, would have got laid quite often.
Which, again, the premise is proven true because he's getting laid quite often when he has a pile of buddies. So.
Yes. So I would say in this movie, he's a Midwest 8 in The Glimpse.
Okay.
Which means that puts him like 7 above the ones.
Wow.
Oh, there's a great line. I think we do quotes as part of this whole thing. Early on, there's a "No one thinks clearly at the airport."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was a great quote.
That's nice.
It's a good one.
True, too. I noted it.
Yeah, because like you think about it, you're leaving, and oh my goodness, I'm never going to see you again. This, that, and the other thing, and like the emotions, everything gets turned up a notch. Which I think they do a really good job at the beginning of this movie, like setting it up. This is a really good movie, a really good script.
Now, I think the credit to that though is Téa Leoni. Téa Leoni was awesome in this movie.
Although in this scene, I think she was kind of taking the piss out of Nick Cage because there's some of the ways that she delivers her lines. It's almost like she's imitating him. Like the first time she opens her mouth, she delivers it in a very cagey voice. And she doesn't sound like that at any other point during the movie. I think she might have been mocking him at that scene.
Wow.
She was very turned up emotionally there.
Yeah,
she was the one that didn't want him to leave.
Yeah.
She was also phenomenal in the shower scene, I have to admit.
Well,
holy
you would
smokes.
say that.
Holy smokes. I hit rewind at least once.
So if this was a VHS, then you would have had that worn down area.
It would have been a little blurry after a while.
No, but just
noisy grainy, whatever that was.
But the way that she acted as the mom was, he was being a jerk sometimes, and she would just laugh it off.
Hi, Jackie.
No, but it was interesting the way that she had this.
Fuck, I know what I just learned. I learned something. Go ahead.
Oh, you keep that. Write
I'm
that down.
saving it. Oh, shit.
Yep. Right. Hang on to that.
Sorry, go ahead, Glenn.
But it's just the way that she played that part was amazing, and I think we're skipping ahead obviously, but I think she was the best part of the movie. She outshined Nicolas Cage, even though he was sometimes Nicolas Cagey, but she was much better at the role.
Yeah, he had some constrained, cagey moments for the most part. I mean, pretty much the singing at the beginning was the big. Yeah, this is Cage being indulgent here.
Yeah, he didn't have any crazy Nick Cagey scenes, did he?
Not particularly. He mostly had like lower key lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have any quotes for this. I don't have any WTFs. I like.
I've got a bunch.
I have one. At the very, very beginning credits, I saw who directed this movie, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Brett Ratner.
Brett Ratner.
What else did he do?
Rush Hour. Those series. Didn't he do like X3 or something?
Yes.
So, X-Men, Rush Hour, and then this. Like, he did a lot more than obviously too. But it was like, wait, what?
But sometimes, and we'll talk about this in an Unbearable Weight. Sometimes you just do things for the check.
You think Family Man was the check, or
I don't know.
X3 was the check?
That's a great question.
Sometimes you do it to take your shot at Frank Capra, which I think is what's going on here. It's every director wants to do like their kind of sappy, sentimental movie, I think, when it comes right down to it.
Well, and so we've got It's a Wonderful Life. We have Scrooged or whatever. Those type of things where you're given a view of a glimpse of some other life to show you why you should be grateful for what you have. Although in this situation, it's not grateful for what you have. It's like, it is an inverse of that, right? It's you don't have what you think you have. Here's what you could have had.
Right.
Which in the end he doesn't get, which makes this a very sad movie.
Right.
So it's similar to, there's a TV show called The Good Place. It might be a little spoilery, so it's spoilers, but this is the afterlife, and the people are told that they're in the good place, when it turns out they're actually in the bad place because these people are all different personalities that are clashing, and it's meant to torment each other. And that's from an old philosophical play that I can't remember the name of, unless you know it.
I don't.
But this seems like it's similar to that, where he's content with his life. Hey, my ex-girlfriend from college called. Whatever, I don't want to talk to her. Hey, I'm going to help this guy out. And then this guy goes, do you need anything? He's like, no, I'm happy with my life. And he's like, you shouldn't have said that. And then he's shown what he could have had long enough, because this was like over a period of months that he was in the glimpse.
It almost felt like it was a year because it went from like winter to winter, right? Like, and there was no demarcation of time at all.
Well,
it felt like, because at the end, or at the beginning, it's snowing.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. And then at the end, I think it was also snowing, wasn't it? Like, yeah.
But I think it was like maybe late February, possibly, because it said mid-January sale at the Neiman Marcus or Elder Diamond or whatever it is. So, but yeah, it's just, he's shown this, and it's long enough where the demon, I'm gonna guess that Don Cheadle's character is a demon in this.
He's supposed to be an angel.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Isn't it like an imp? What's the thing that just does stuff to fuck around?
Imps would be one thing, like I don't know.
Rumpelstiltskin?
Like a djinn, perhaps.
I mean,
Mr. Mixaplix and
there you go. He's
Wow.
Mr. Mixaplix. Just make him say his name backwards.
Check. But like, because and let's talk about that, because Nick Cage is happy in his Wall Street life,
and we get no indication that he's not happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing. He is having a great time. He doesn't care that he's working on Christmas.
Yeah.
He even isn't that big a jerk to Alan Mintz, who is... I thought he was going to be kind of the Bob Cratchit here, but no, he ends up kind of being the replacement Jack later on when he leaves.
I mean, he does call a meeting for Christmas Day,
Right.
which shows some lack of empathy for his employees or like that. But even that's not that pronounced, or like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that to us, right?
Yeah,
It's
he's
very
not
subtle.
being a jerk about it. He's just engaging in this merger at the time that no business would ever do a merger.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
And then when he decides he's going to walk home, and the guy at the door is like, we'll have your car driven to your house. It's like, okay, this guy's got freaking everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then that's when he's walking home and stops at a party store that where Don Cheadle's character, what is it? Is it Cash? Is that
It's
his name?
Cash, yes.
Is there at the counter trying to cash in a $238 lottery ticket. And it was interesting because the dynamics between Koreans, which I believe the party store owners were probably Korean, and African Americans, there's some history there. It's not really talked about, but it's definitely implied with how they respond to not wanting to cash the ticket. Don't need to go down the rabbit hole. But then Nick Cage as Jack Campbell, decides to intervene, which makes him in this good guy role. It's almost like a little bit of a save the cat-ish type role. Yeah. Where he's going to be like, okay, I'll give you $200. He's trying to strike a deal, right? He's a businessman striking a deal. I'm going to give you $200 for that ticket. You make, and I'll sell it to them. I'll make $38, whatever. It's a good business deal. So like, he kind of does Cash a favor, but not really. Even though Cash just pulled the gun on him, I guess I skipped that important part. And then they go walking out, and then for some reason, for no reason really, Cash is going to give him this glimpse. Yeah. It's so that to me, it's like Nick Cage wasn't really asking for it, wasn't being really ungrateful for what he had. There was no reason for this to be. Charlie, what's the angel from freaking?
Oh crap!
From Wonderful Life, right? I think his name was Charlie.
Remember. Is it Charlie?
But anyway, whatever. There was no impetus for this imp to come in and do this thing. It was like he's just coming in to mess around with humans for a little bit.
Yep. Jack is totally happy. Yeah. And is not that bad a guy. And then he realizes that he made a terrible mistake, and his life is probably kind of ruined, ultimately.
If they would have kept it going until his daughter became a teenager, then maybe not so much.
Oh, thank God.
The angel's name is Clarence from It's Wonderful Life.
I knew it started with the C, Clarence. But this is definitely the grass is always greener type movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
But Not really, because he's not longing for that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
After he gets his contact with his demon ghost family, he then is totally lonely and broken when he goes back. He's now totally dispirited in his awesome life.
Okay, do you want to talk
Even
about...
his gigantic and amazing closet that I would probably kill multiple people to get.
You could live in his closet and he probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, you could live in there and feel awesome while doing it.
Do we want to talk about the rules? That it seems like the possible rules for this other family dimension world reality.
What?
So there's a few things that could be. Could be a pocket dimension that this demon made of everything that's happened. It could be that he took the place of a different dimensional Jack Campbell. You can hear that. It could be that he took the place of other Jack Campbell. So this is another dimension where it actually is all playing out fine. It could be that the demon went back and changed one thing about the past. And from that one thing, it makes this new
Butterfly?
timeline. A little bit like a butterfly. So it could be Back to the Future 1 or Back to the Future 2.
Right.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Everything.
I've got
Every fucking time.
I've got another reference too later on.
Of course.
But
Sorry, JC.
Back to the Future 1,
I think he listens.
he listens to everybody. Don't think you're special.
Yeah.
Back to the Future 1, it's a single timeline. With that, then if something happens in the past, it changes the future.
Right.
Back to the Future 2, because they changed the rules up, is a multiversal timeline where change something in the past and then spews off into a different alternate reality. So this could be a completely separate reality that's always been a thing. This could be a single point in time that's changed, a la Q almost from Star Trek, that you've had this alternate dimension, or it's just a pocket dimension that is all just a simulation.
Or Clink, there's another one.
What's that?
It could just be a dream.
Oh. But Alan, we do have to recognize how much of a fucking nerd Michael Klink is for what he just said.
By the way,
Holy
That's
smokes,
why
that was
I'm
epic.
mocking him.
By the way, Mace made most of that up just now.
That's you're an exceptional human. But yeah, I thought that too. It was just like any of those things end up becoming potentially a dream, right? Like it's
Other thing, sorry, I did write down one. It could have been Quantum Leap. So Jack A, Jack, could have switched places with Jack B, the Jack that has the family. And then with that, Jack B could have seen what Jack A had if he hadn't gone with Kate, Téa Leoni's character.
So you're saying that Nick Cage
So 2 lives were probably ruined.
Well, maybe. Or
Way to go, Cash.
or he made Jack B, the family Jack.
Appreciate what he had.
Yes.
I suppose that's possible. But then
Except-
he would have seen that closet.
He would have opened the door too and seen that woman in the.
Yeah.
meow.
And closet. Like,
So you're saying that in The Family Man, Nick Cage's character wanted to enter, or did enter Nick Cage's character. Kind of like what happened in
yes.
The Unbearable Weight.
The best
where
scene
Nick
ever.
Cage kind of sort of enters Nick Cage.
That kind of, sort of. Yeah.
I mean, does tongue count?
Man, that makeout
Unbearable
scene was
Weight-
amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna jump over to Unbearable Weight because I want to go over there for a little bit. Who wants to tell us about that movie?
So in Unbearable Weight, we have our actor, Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
Who is progressing with his career and is trying desperately to get a job with what's the director? I wrote his name down. He's trying to get a job with David Gordon Greer, who is the director of Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, and a bunch of other movies I didn't care about. So, really, him not getting this job, not that big a loss. Anyway,
it's the role of a lifetime. He said that multiple times.
yeah, well, it's Nick Cage. We already know what taste in movies he's got.
But it's the movie like King Lear. What did they say?
Everything's like King Lear. That's the joke. Oh, and of course his Boston accent, which I died. I loved it.
I was waiting for the Boston part to come out.
Yeah, it was so funny. Oh, amazing. And the fact that he delivers that speech later in the movie, also doing the bad Boston accent. Oh, it's perfect.
So Nick Cage is playing Nick Cage in this movie.
And he is also playing his alter ego, which is more or less young, wild Nick Cage, who goes by Nicky here.
Yes.
And-
who literally makes out with Nick Cage at one point.
Allow
in this
myself
movie,
to
which
make
is
out with
amazing.
myself.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Amazing.
So, and that younger, so Nicky, was he dressed like Nick Cage from a certain movie, or I know they did make him look younger and all that stuff, but was that
He's
reminded
dressed.
me of,
there's a talk show appearance that Cage does that he's wearing exactly that
Gotcha,
jacket.
okay.
And I can't remember which one.
Is that the one where he's kind of looks like he's cocaine out of his
Yeah,
mind?
yeah.
Okay.
It's that one.
this Unbearable Weight references from the very beginning almost every single Nick Cage that was ever in existence, because
Oh, there's some stuff that he was in a lot.
yeah,
He was in a lot.
but
They talked about Mandy.
There's Mandy.
Well, they mentioned Mandy.
They mention and show the axe that he made in Mandy.
Yeah. So
and the chainsaw.
The chainsaw too. Yeah.
So Nick Cage, actor who his wife has divorced him, his daughter doesn't really give two rips about him, very selfish in all the things that he does, can't get the job that he wants. His agent, who is played by Neil Patrick Harris, aka Doogie Howser, they have a phenomenal scene in the sauna, which is one of the best quotes of all time that I would maybe say if you guys don't. And then somehow, some way, he ends up going to another country because a drug lord,
He's in the olive business. Thank you very much.
someone in the olive business, and what country was it?
Spain.
It's Spain. He's
In
going to
Spain.
Majorca.
And so he's going to Spain at the request of a olive import-exporter who would like Nick Cage to perform at his birthday party, because he also has a script that he wants Nick Cage to read and star in. It's coming to find out this person is also tied up in the drug trade or kidnapping trade and have kidnapped another young female in order to change the results of an election. Are you sure this didn't happen in America? I'm sorry.
Wow.
Too soon?
Too soon. Well, not when this comes out.
Give it 8 years.
I was about to say, when this comes out, it'll be 8 years from now.
It's on the list.
So I have a question for you
Yes.
two. Have you both ever seen The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari?
I have not, actually.
It's really good.
I didn't have time to watch it. Oh, speaking of that, one of the first lines from this movie that I specifically typed down, it's Addie, the daughter, complaining about being made to watch the movie. That, or he makes me watch old movies and then discuss them, which is really just him lecturing me for 2 hours. And then he cuts in with conversations. It's more of a conversation. Like, oh, it's the podcast. Got it. I see you there, Mr. Cage.
So, yeah, Dr. Caligari is a German expressionist film that's kind of interesting because it's Shutter Island-y. It was inspiration for Shutter Island, I would argue, or at least references.
I haven't seen Shutter Island. I've seen this, but not that.
Spoiler alert: the guy who thinks he's there to solve the crime is actually the crazy one there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's spoiler. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Sixth Sense spoiler.
Oh my God! So before you do that,
He's dead.
Oh jeez! Before you say that, M. Night Shyamalan said that there is no limit on spoilers, no time limit.
Really?
So he said, even though it's like 20, 25 years ago, it's still a spoiler.
Is there a limit on a film career, M. Night? Because
He's
I'm
still making
afraid
stuff.
you reached it,
He's
so
still
don't
making
tell
stuff.
me how to enjoy movies.
You should watch The Last Airbender because he did that, and it's god awful.
Yes, it made me want to kill myself, and I watched the Riff Tracks version.
Oh my!
So, Guarding Tess is also talked about in here. So many other movies. It's just this. For the first
Face Off.
For the first time
Lots
in
of
a
face off.
for the first time in a long time, I feel like we've watched a movie that I want to watch again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Definitely one. And maybe it's because we're doing the Nick Cage season, so I'm like, I want to kind of pick out all the Easter eggs and everything else.
Yeah.
But I truly think this is also a really good movie. It's got a good story. The kind of self-referential meta aspect of it is kind of intriguing and cool. The performances are great. We get Nick Cage being Nick Cage, but also being Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Being Nicky, right? Like, he's all of him.
And Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal's amazing.
Phenomenal.
And the chemistry between the two of them is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care about the action scenes or the story. I just wanted them to hang out the whole time.
Yeah.
At the end, when they were doing the car chases and the drugging and the shooting, I got bored. I wanted more of the freaking just them two hanging out, jumping off cliffs, taking acid. I mean, that's the
Doing
fucking life I want to
crazy
live.
The acid thing where they're going over the wall and
Epic, man. That acid trip was probably the best acid trip I've seen in a movie since freaking Fear and Loathing, right?
Yeah.
Or the acid trip from like Across the Universe, because I had better music.
Including another one of the great lines I wrote down. Use me as a human stool.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
there was one. When it's over, I'm done like a hot dog on a grill.
Yep.
So since you
So
didn't
good.
bring it up when I brought it up, there is a scene in the sauna / bathhouse where Neil Patrick Harris, who's the agent, is talking with Nick Cage, and they're getting their backs smacked with like leaves or something, like because the pain makes you feel better, right, or something like
supposed to help circulation or something.
Circulation, and I think there's the line there when they're in the sauna or in the bathhouse, and then Nick Cage, I think Nick Cage, he's the one that delivers it. Never shit on yourself. Never shit on yourself. I love that line. That is so phenomenal. So phenomenal.
Are we doing quotes right now? Because
We can do anything.
Okay.
It's our podcast.
I have one from Unbearable Weight. It's just a matter of time before the great power plant upstairs turns off the juice and we retreat back to the black pit of nothingness from which we came. I love that. I paused the thing and I had to look that up to get the actual quote.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's a line almost exactly like that in Pig too. It's when he's musing on the great earthquake that's eventually going to destroy Portland. I mean, it's the same line. It's very funny.
There was one point, I was watching this with a friend, and we both looked at each other like, why did he say it like that? I forget what the word was, but there's one word where he's talking, and he says, he like enunciates the different parts of the word that you wouldn't.
There's a bunch of that.
And I'm like, what? And it's Nick Cage, obviously.
Yeah,
but-
he's playing up being Nick Cage. Yeah. He's got a really good angle on self-parody. Either that or whoever wrote him. I mean, he loves taking the piss out of himself, I think, when it comes right down to it.
And he obviously was a good sport about it because he's in it and he's doing
he
the
didn't
thing.
have to do the job. In fact, I according to IMDb, apparently he wanted Javi's role at first because he thought it would be funny.
That would be cool. Yeah.
And then apparently they cast Pedro Pascal, and he was like, okay, I got to be myself in this.
But I think the dude just has such a confidence about who he is, or not, or no give a shit about what people think about him, that he can do these things, and like, I'm just doing my thing and I don't care.
Yeah, he just knows he's a thing now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's playing a character in a cage, but even in the actual movie itself, like he's laying by the pool, he's not caring, like he just got there. Usually when you just get someplace and you're like a guest, sometimes you're like, okay, what can I do? You just, whatever, don't care.
Nick Cage.
I'm going to drink all the time. Like he drank all the time.
Yeah.
He also drank, and so this is, I have an idea for a subset of what we do. Okay. Another one, like trying to do what they do in a movie. So I don't know if you know this, when I was younger, I think I've talked about this before the film Better Off Dead, when the main character, played by John Cusack, takes a shower with his socks on and then blows them dry with a hairdryer. I actually tried that in real life, and it does not work.
Why did he do that?
He does it. I think he's just trying. It's the getting ready montage type stuff, and it's just trying to go faster, and it's just a sight gag, right?
Yeah.
Does not work. I mean, it would eventually work, but does not work in the timeline by which you would actually make it to work on time. This movie, Nick Cage is drinking it from a beer while underwater. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you can drink.
You can't swallow because you have to take in
that's
air
what I'm
when you
saying.
swallow. Yeah.
So are you telling me this is bullshit?
Yeah. It's a movie.
I would like you to try that. Will you try that for us?
Well, I tried that.
Yeah.
Why do I have to try it?
Because you're the one that looks the most like Nick Cage.
What does that mean?
Well, it means you're a Midwest 8.
You called me an 8. Oh, look at you. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to take the Midwest out.
Nick Cage in this Unbearable Weight, there was a point, and I can't remember. Oh, no, it's very transparent. He reminds me of Royal Tenenbaum because he's got that narcissism, the kind of sort of care about my family, but only if it doesn't impede on what I'm doing. Yeah. But then also gets locked out of his hotel room because he's got a bill that he can't pay.
$600,000.
Yeah.
Jeez. And he's been staying in a hotel for like 6 months.
It's because he got divorced.
Well, I understand that, but still, you get an apartment, not a hotel.
Not if you're Nick motherfucking Cage, you don't.
I would see if you get an apartment though. There's nobody to make your bed for you.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of
You hire a
benefits.
maid service.
No, the hotel's better, dude. I would love to live in a hotel. I used to want to live in a hotel when I was younger. It'd be a fabulous life. Let's write a movie about that.
There you go.
This movie also kind of gave me and I don't know if it's because of I'm racist, but it gave me Ex Machina vibes. Have you seen that movie yet?
Yeah.
No.
So remember who's it in Ex Machina? The two guys. You got the redhead guy. You got Hux. You got the two Star Wars guys, right?
You got Poe Dameron and General Hux. Yeah.
Yeah, and General Huck's character and Poe Dameron reminded me for some reason about Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal.
You want to go through the story of Ex Machina right now so that everybody knows what we're talking about? Or?
Sure, you can.
Okay, so...
Because it's similar, right? It is similar.
Yeah. So General Hux, I don't know the guy's name. Anyways, redhead dude works at a Google-esque type company.
Yeah.
And the CEO and founder of this Google-esque type company invites him because he wins this trip out to his compound that's in the middle of nowhere.
Similar.
And from that, he is asked to be a part of a study to do AI testing. Turing test,
to determine whether or not something is AI.
And so
really cool.
he's starting to do this, and they're starting to kind of hang out, and they're starting to be friends, and then something happens to where it's starting to kind of take a darker turn, and he wants Hux to fall in love with the AI robot because he made it look like women that he looks up on the internet because he knows his search history, and it's a whole thing like that, and it's a good movie. It's dark as all get out, but it's a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. But I could see where the rich eccentric guy and then the other guy.
And he was ethnic.
Is that why? Is that why?
Yes, I told you it's because I'm racist. No, but they're obviously a lot more similarities too. Yes,
I like Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal's chemistry better, obviously, because they become friends.
Yeah,
and
they're friends versus foils, or not even foils in that case, but yeah.
Poe Dameron and General Hux. I don't know their names.
Oscar
Isaac. Moon Knight guy.
And we're not going to take the time to look it up either, you fuckers.
Yeah, it was Oscar Isaac, right?
Oscar Isaac, yes.
Yeah,
and then the other one looks like a Weasley brother. I think he is, actually.
Had forgotten Weasley.
Yeah.
Is he really?
It looks like it from Harry
I
Potter.
love that song. Made me cry in that movie.
Song.
The one song from the Patrick Swayze movie with Demi Moore.
What is happening right now?
Oh, you said Weasley. I thought you said Isley Brothers. No. It took me a while to get there. Dr. Nicky, that was my only two movies, one WTF moment when Nick Cage is hallucinating with his younger self and makes out with himself. He was grabbing his own butt too.
Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah,
man, he was all up in it.
So
dude.
not okay. So the younger one is
into it.
Yeah, the younger one is the figment of his imagination, but the figment of his imagination starts making out with him, and then the real one, actually starts grabbing his own butt.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why it was awesome.
Yes. So I do have a question here, and I think can we do question time?
Go ahead.
What are your 3 favorite movies, Michael Klink?
Oh, geez.
You knew I was going to ask.
I didn't, but it makes
were you
sense.
not going to ask?
I wasn't going to ask.
What?
I
Ellen, were
didn't
you
even
gonna
think
ask?
about it.
I wasn't going to ask, but I can answer it.
Oh, who should go first? You go first, because you seem fairly confident.
Showgirls.
Well, I've actually got the first 2.
Natural Born Killers and
off.
Showgirls.
Dude, let him answer.
I know it. I know him. I know you.
I've got the first 2 right off the top of my head, and I have to think about the third. So the first is Unforgiven.
Oh, we knew this,
okay.
yes.
The
Go back and watch
second-
all of our episodes and you'll answer the questions.
And at some point, we're going to talk about Unforgiven. I'll make you all... Vanderpool, you'll fall asleep multiple times, but it'll
I've
be
seen
worth it in the
I've
end.
seen it.
So,
I saw it.
So, Unforgiven, Natural Born Killers. And I don't know about my third. I have to think on that. I don't know, maybe RoboCop?
Okay.
Okay.
Which is from our superhero season.
Yep.
If you want to go check that out, folks. So is it in that order? Unforgiven, Natural
Yeah,
Born Killers,
Unforgiven's
RoboCop? Okay.
definitely number 1. And Natural Born Killers is definitely number 2.
And you, Mr. Klink?
Back to the Future.
Which one
The first one.
is number 1?
The first one is like the it's encapsulated. It doesn't have to go on at all, and it's
Yeah, it would have been better if it didn't. Yeah.
yeah. No, so probably would have.
Okay.
It was fun. Anyways, Back to the Future, Casablanca.
Ooh. Oh, man, we're going back that far? Fuck.
Oh man. And then I can't think of the third one.
Why do you like Casablanca?
Casablanca is amazing.
Why? I mean, I agree, but why?
It's amazing because you don't have the guy getting the girl at the end. And it's amazing because, and this is like obviously background knowledge too, but like they didn't know how the movie was going to go until the day before. So they were writing the script as they were filming it, which was interesting because like the different ways it could have gone and just the intrigue, and it's really nice. You know, another one, Vertigo. That's a good one. I could watch that over and over again.
Yeah, Vertigo is phenomenal. Yeah. Okay, great.
What about you?
Moving on. Oh, no.
No, what about you?
No, I'm not answering.
Why?
Spotlight on Vanderpool.
Man, that's a great question. I wish I'd have thought of this question.
My God.
I didn't. It was from the movie.
Yeah, I know.
I stole it from the movie. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. If I'm going to go back in time, right, I think, like, I really, really, really like Notorious.
Okay.
With
That's
Cary
a good one.
Grant, right? That's phenomenal.
Another Hitchcock film.
Yeah, if I'm going to go into maybe, like, Dead Poet Society is just I could watch that a million times. I have watched it a million times. And then probably number 3, and that's in no real order. I really think what's the Dark Knight?
The first one?
The one with Heath Ledger as the Joker?
The
second
second one. Yeah, okay. Batman Begins is the first one.
I think, like, because there's it's referential to like Touch of Evil, which is another movie I like. There's a lot of referential stuff in there that I like, and obviously the whole Batman thing kind of coming together, and Heath Ledger's performance and what they do at the end and talking about like good guys, bad guys. I think it's a real nice exploration.
Nice.
So yeah, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So Javi's answers are, of course, Face Off.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Does he do that when?
I did.
So Michael Klink, if you aren't watching this on our YouTube, does this face off and pulls off like this every time?
Nick Cage or John Travolta. Nick Cage's character does that.
Does it? Okay.
I want his face off.
Okay.
It's when he's high and everything. Yeah.
So
Yes.
I didn't know if it was actually in this Unbearable Weight movie or if I was just like imagining you doing it.
No. We are imagining it. And then Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, of course, referring back earlier, and then Paddington 2, which gives us what I want to make the tagline for these two movies. I cried throughout the entire thing. It made me want to be a better man.
That's perfect, man.
And then they watch it, and of course, Cage is wiping away tears. It's great. It's awesome timing.
I have one more quote.
Oh, I've got a few more.
Well, should we do a quote rundown?
I already did my quotes.
Are you done with your quotes?
I don't have a lot of notes for Unbearable Weight. I just
you
enjoyed
shot your
the movie.
load?
For Unbearable Weight, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you've got more for Family
I got more
Man?
for Family Man.
We should go back and talk about Family Man, I think. So there's one other quote which is used multiple times in Unbearable Weight. And Alan, I might be stealing your thunder here, but the always trust my shamanic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you got that? Do you want to set that one up for
I'll
us?
read the first one, and you can read the second one.
So the second, well, all I have is always trust my shamanic as a thespian.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you when and where that happened because I was so enthralled in the film that I just wrote it down.
Yep. Well, as a thespian, that is also my job to understand people's characters, feel what they're feeling, which is how I know that Javi is not a gun dealer. And then the response, you're saying that your acting ability trumps 5 years of data collected by the world's finest intelligence agency? My nouveau shamanic acting ability? You better fucking believe it.
Which turns out he was right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just amazing.
And that, I think the CIA agents are played by some white dude and then Tiffany Haddish. I was really impressed with her acting.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen her do like stand up or like I think she was the host of was it Chappelle's Mark Twain induction? One of them. And I didn't enjoy her as a stand up artist, but I really enjoyed her in this film. I think she did a good job.
Yep.
I like the fact that you had it. They tried to play on a tragedy a little bit of like the two characters having to kill each other because they think the one is doing the other thing for the other, you know. So Nick Cage feels like he has to kill Pedro Pascal's character, Javi, because he's the drug runner and he possibly kidnapped his family. And then Javi has to kill Nick Cage to prove to his cousin that he's still loyal, and they don't want to do it because they're like best friends, which is still amazing even at that time.
It's a very John Woo kind of storyline, not Face Off, but previous John Woo movies.
But the fact that the scene leading up to that scene where they're gonna go out and shoot each other, It's them talking about each other's shoes, which is amazing.
And then trading shoes, which is really
like,
funny.
you look amazing in these shoes. Should we trade?
And then that being an issue later on when they are now being attacked by the other drug runners who kind of knew, or whatever they were, who knew that they weren't going to kill each other.
Yeah.
Then they'd have a conversation about the shoes. That's a good gag.
Yeah.
Or a very good joke.
Or they lead it up to where Nicolas Cage thinks he's going into this room to see the kidnapped people, and it's a shrine to his career and his actual golden guns, and
which they do say were real, right?
Yeah,
and which plays in later. Yeah, like the script in this movie is phenomenal. I don't know who wrote it, but it was a phenomenal script.
Yeah.
And the none of the jokes are like throwaway one-liners. They all are building onto each other. So the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a movie about a movie that is the movie. What? I'm so confused.
so this could easily have been a very lazy attempt to make a movie, because there's always those scripts or those skits where it's, should we do it yet? And then and then they keep asking you, should they do it yet? And then finally they do the thing, or they whisper in each other's ear, and then you finally find out that there's no idea for a skit, but the no idea for a skit is the skit, which is dumb. Anyways, this could have easily been that, but it was not. It was amazing.
I think so too, because it did it without really hitting you over the head with it, right? It hinted at it, and then when the transition at the end,
And yet it was still funny because suddenly Demi Moore's there.
yeah, that was it. When that happened, so at the end, hijinks, pursuit, gunshots, car flying through the air, saving the day, yada yada, and it ends up. Like, they cut to where Nick Cage, who has saved his wife and daughter, are replaced by Demi Moore as his wife and somebody else as his daughter. It's very, very, very transparent that they're not the same. Not even close. Not even trying to be the same people, right?
His daughter delivers the "I love you, Daddy," line, which apparently Hoffy wrote, which is very sweet. Yeah.
And then that cuts to Nick Cage sitting in the theater. This is the closing of a film. Everybody's clapping and excited, yada, yada. So when I saw Demi Moore, I did a double take on what's going on. And I was like, oh, okay, duh, they made the movie.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, and going back to the whole them almost trying to shoot each other thing because one person thought the other person was doing something, when Nick Cage was sneaking around and Javi was acting normal, he's like, I need you to come see something right now. And he seems so serious because he just wants to help Nick Cage with his family life.
Yep.
And he brings him in, and Nick Cage is like, whatever you do, leave my family out of this. And Javi's like, I'm trying to help you, dude.
Right. Yeah.
It's just awesome.
They do a really good job of that suspenseful tension throughout all of it. When you referenced earlier about going to the room where I'm going to show you something, and it ends up being just this shrine to Nick Cage, to that whole entire thing.
And that's the great use of suspense. Like, going back to Hitchcock says, if you want to make suspense, have a conversation in the living room. And have a box or something, or a crate, and then inside the crate there's a bomb. You have a normal conversation about baseball, but then you flash every once in a while to the bomb inside the box, and now this normal conversation about baseball seems super important, and super suspenseful. Yeah, and that's what changes it, because the difference the knowledge that we have that Nick Cage has versus if we didn't know what Nick Cage was doing and knew about Javier, that'd be a different sort of dynamic and suspense.
And counter to that is what we have over in The Family Man, where we know early on, because Cash sets up this glimpse, and Cash never comes back. We're in that world for so long that we almost forget that the other world existed. Yeah. It's very similar to Somewhere in Time, right?
Mm-hmm. Or that we think that this will be his new reality.
Yes.
Which is what I was thinking. I was like, well, obvious, it was mighty nice of that angel to give this man an entirely new reality. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So like in Somewhere in Time, where he does reach into his pocket and pulls out the penny from the time he's supposed to be in, is very similar to this movie, where he hears the daughter ringing the bell. And the fucking fact that it's the daughter ringing the bell, it's going to ruin the world. Somebody take over, please. Fuck. We lived in that world for long enough to where, like, it's that much of a shock because we weren't reminded of the bomb in the box.
Yeah. But and that goes with, if this is a pocket dimension that the demon made, then everything in this dimension is gone. All the people's relationships all the things that he did to help people. Kate's, Téa Leoni's character, her dad probably could have gone under because he didn't come by to help save the business.
Yeah, he's totally dead.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Because it's hinted at that he saved his life from having a heart attack.
That's true.
So he's dead.
Yeah.
So this brings up a couple things. So in The Family Man, I was amused, especially given Vanderpool's pausing of the shower scene, that
I never paused it down. I just put on repeat.
Repeat and repeat and repeat. All right, so the line delivered by Arnie would actually be somewhat poignant, if somewhat sexist, in other circumstances. So the line is, suddenly every lingerie ad in the Newark Star Ledger represents a life you can't have. Now, that would have some meaning in a world in which Téa Leoni is not the wife because she's gorgeous, and everybody in the movie, well, Arnie especially, comments on this. Like, you're so lucky. What are you doing? Why are you considering having an affair with the town floozy? What's wrong with you? And that just highlights again the absurdity of the whole premise. Again, we're supposed to see that this is a coming down in status, and yet he's still got a house with 4 bedrooms. Like, as I was noting this, I'm like, I never thought I'd be jealous of my parents, but here we go. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and like, yep, okay, I got that. Duly noted.
Well, that and
Smoking hot wife who after 2 kids, her boobs are still up here.
Yep.
well, that and the fact
Wants
that
to bone constantly.
she's like, the kids are asleep, and she just starts taking off stuff. Like,
Puts on Wicked Game to bone.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
Great.
or the fact that he's got this. He's got this career that he's trying to go to do. Is obviously this dream that he has, and she's like, I want to stay here in this house, but if we have to move, we'll move. And it's just like, what?
Well, but that was really, really interesting how, so when he's in the glimpse, he's seizing an opportunity to take the glimpse into into his previous life.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it.
Which we know is doomed, of course, by the logic of Christmas movies. I mean, by the logic of Hallmark movies, this is not going to work because you can't commute in a Hallmark movie. Or you can't, or like planes don't exist in a Hallmark movie. Like planes don't exist from Heathrow to New York.
This is a Hallmark movie.
It is kind of.
Except he's the one and not her. But
Wait.
he's a big-time stock guy, president of a company. He goes to the small town, falls in
Holy
love,
shit, dude.
already has kids.
You just fucking ruined this movie for
That's
me.
crazy. She wears flannel?
Yeah? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The Family Man is the first Hallmark movie ever.
Not ever. There probably were other ones before.
Hey, Google, when was the first Hallmark movie?
Don't ask for Hallmark movies. It has to be that weird
That
Christmassy pattern, which isn't necessarily pioneered by Hallmark.
The very first Hallmark movie was Amal and the Night Visitors in 1951. What the fuck?
Well, that's because Hallmark probably paid to have that movie made.
Oh my goodness.
Do we have to watch them all in The Night Visitors now? That sounds really wrong.
But I've got an idea of what we're going to watch next.
Oh, God. Well, we're not there yet. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on to that. So, all right. So, Vanderpool, you already mentioned the end of this movie had you crying. So let me make it worse. So, all right. So, number one, let's assume that they're going to get back together at the end of this movie. So the end of the movie is very sweet. It's the two of them having coffee. Snow's coming down outside. Looks great. Shot great. Credits come up. No commentary. And then I started thinking, so let's assume they get back together, which is not a guarantee.
No.
So let's assume they got back together. So they are 13 years past where they started their family. So, are they going to get the same kids
No.
by the logic of this movie?
That's not how that works.
No, it's not. But we're lost. We now have we have ghost kids hanging over this. Not to mention a really likable girl.
Oh man, yeah, she's awesome.
Who's the core of this damn movie, who instantly figures out that Nick Cage is not her dad. Like, has a deep feeling that there's something wrong. It actually reminded me of a less threatening, although still kind of threatening in retrospect, version of Philip K. Dick's The Father Thing, which is a weird, like, body snatcher kind of short story that PKD wrote. And it is great. It's a really scary
Did you
story.
notice that he had Philip K. Dick as PKD?
Yep. Sorry, guys. I became a libertarian while your backs were turned. Anyway, so.
He's on initials with PKD there. That's great.
Yes. What was go ahead, Alan.
All right, so we've got, is Jack going to be haunted by the ghost kids that only he remembers? So let's assume they get back together. He knows about the kids they could have had.
And he even talks about it at the airport at the end when he goes to her and tells her.
Yeah, where he tells her about all the stuff that she's never going to get.
Yeah.
Because that's gone.
But he tells her about the kids, and he goes into great detail just about the baby alone. Like, the baby didn't have a lot of screen time. It had weird screen time, by the way.
It's a baby.
But I understand that.
It's a canned ham that's going to develop a personality someday. Come on. You can tell how sentimental I am about kids. But anyway.
We did get the obligatory, like, holding a baby out.
Yeah. That's
3
totally
feet away
me
from
with
you,
a
right?
baby. But I felt that scene. So then we get, so what about the house? So that beautiful house that was so important, that's been occupied by somebody else for 13 years. They don't even, they're not going to get that house. So then Ed, that's Kate's dad. He's supposedly saved from having a heart attack by Jack.
I thought it was after the heart attack, Jack saved the business.
Jack saved something, and I couldn't figure out what.
Yeah.
But let's assume it. So Ed might be dead, or he lost his business, one way or the other. So that means no tire job. So if Jack were to leave his company, he better hope he gets an amazing golden parachute, because he's never going to work again, because he's not going to get that tire job because Ed is either dead or lost his business. And he doesn't have 13 years in the tire business to make that job worth working. On top of that.
Other Back to the Future reference thing. Anyways, Back to the Future 1. Marty comes back to the future. And it's alternate reality future. So alternate reality Marty, that has the well-adjusted family, that doesn't have the alcoholic mom, goes, we don't know where, maybe the past, maybe dinosaurs, maybe to his death, we don't know. Anyways, point being is that Marty A, wakes up in new 1985 with this new family,
Right.
where the family has changed, but he hasn't for some reason.
Yeah, he has all his old memories of the previous family.
So with this one, if he were to try and do that, like try and pick up that life, nobody else knows about that.
Yeah. He's lost 13 years, and he doesn't know any of these people. So on top of this, so there's no bowling team, because Ed was the sponsor of the bowling team. So, and even if he started bowling, he'd suck at it, because he needed 13 years to get good at it.
He did suck at it when he. That was a funny scene. He hits 4 pins and he thinks he's doing well. It was great.
Oh yeah, victorious. That's how I feel when I'm bowling. And the awesome line that, I guess that 71 took it out of you. And then finally, the greatest tragedy of all, especially considering Javi in our next movie. What about Arnie? So who's going to be his best friend for 13 years?
Somebody else.
Yeah, but they're not going to be pals.
No.
They lost all that.
So I wonder.
There's multiple relationships destroyed and lost. Thanks, Cash.
Okay, so you're not thinking about this fourth dimensionally. They're not destroyed because they never were.
Well, yeah, but he remembers them.
He remembers them.
But he remembers them now. But I'm wondering if, like, as a defense mechanism, the brain would just like those things would slowly just dissolve from your memory.
Or they'd turn into bitter resentment, dooming his relationship with Kate.
We're gonna have another baby. It's gonna be just like this one. So I'll see you next time. I swear.
Oh, wait, that baby's not a success. We gotta have another one.
We're gonna go back in time and have another baby.
So this relationship's doomed. I think we could just say that right from the beginning. I don't can't go back.
Is it a happy movie? Is it a happy ending?
God, no.
So, okay, I'm going to argue.
The more I think about it, the more terrible it is.
Well, I'm going to argue that it's him appreciating Kate again.
Yeah.
It's him going back, obviously. So it's them having coffee is the spark of possible relationship.
Right.
But even if it doesn't go anywhere, he can have that absolute closure eventually, I would think.
Well, they
He's not
both
gonna
mentioned
have the closure because the ghost kids will haunt him forever.
he might have the best of both worlds, though. The memory of having kids without having to pay for them to go to college.
Well, he's got enough money for that.
But yeah, maybe.
But speaking of which, she's going on the plane to Paris
Yes.
forever,
Wearing
quote-unquote.
her evil turtleneck, which I thought was funny. I really wish she had pitched her voice a little bit further down so she could sound like Elizabeth Holmes.
No.
I am really glad that it wasn't one of the airport I'm going away scenes where like he watches the plane take off and then he turns
she's
around
not
and she's
on it.
standing there or like
Friends, the end of Friends, yeah.
Or like the whole like he wakes up the next day, there's a knock on the door, he thinks it's going to be the hooker again or whatever that girl was he was banging.
It's not a hooker, okay?
You pay for it one way or another.
Oh, Paula, you're not a whore.
And it would have been her knocking
like
on the
it.
door, right? Like
Well, that's how it
I
was
thought
for
we were
him.
going to get a boomerang from her.
But that's how it was for her in the alternate timeline. Mm-hmm. Like the next day he comes back, which
Yeah.
is kind of crazy.
Well, that's where I thought it was going to be that mirror setup of that. Yeah.
I have a question. Is this a Christmas movie?
Yes.
What makes it a Christmas movie?
Snow.
Oh Jesus!
And
fucking
discovering
Christ. Sorry, Jesus. That's the second time.
and discovering the true meaning of family and craft.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you want to go here? Do you want to go here?
It is not a Christmas movie.
Do you wanna
There's
go
no
here?
way, shape, or form.
Because
this is a
you're
Christmas
describing
movie.
Die Hard.
There's
there.
even a Christmas. I know
Yes, it's a Christmas movie.
No, it's not.
It is.
Vanderpool, is this a Christmas movie?
No, not
Why?
even close. There's no Christmas tree in it. There's no caroling. There's not even a Christmas song.
There's a Christmas tree in it.
Who sings a Christmas song?
There's a Christmas party.
There's a Christmas party.
Is there?
And there's Christmas trees.
There's a Christmas party with that local tramp and the wrap dress that
There's
was awesome.
ugly sweaters.
Do they sing a song?
Eggnog.
Do they sing a Christmas song?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Nope, it's not a Christmas movie then. It has to be a Christmas song. No, not even Christmas music. They have to sing a Christmas song.
Okay. All right. So since this is our Christmas episode, right?
Yep, happy 2025, people.
This is our Christmas episode. I have 2 Nick Cage queries.
Oh, let's go. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
Ding, 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 ding. Anyways, my Cage query is, why aren't numbers lowercase or uppercase numbers?
I don't know.
But you see, you could have
So what did we learn, Alan?
you could have Roman numerals be uppercase or lowercase.
Can you?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
It depends on how much space you have. Alan, what did you learn?
No. We're not done. We're not done. That's my other one.
Okay.
I got another one.
Wait, what did you answer that one?
No, that's not. You don't answer him. They're not the.
I
that's the
just
point.
answered it.
He answered it,
because
but
there
that's
are lowercase.
That's not the point.
Okay.
These are supposed to open your mind.
Okay.
Try again, Nick.
Is this like LSD?
Ding 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 ding. Nick Cage queries Part 2, Christmas edition. Crap! I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh my God. All right, Alan, what did you learn?
Wait! No!
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Was massive weight?
So,
What is it called?
Massive Weight of Unbearable Talent is a phenomenal Nick Cage movie because we get every freaking angle of Nick Cage.
Was he good in it?
Phenomenally good in all of his parts. Even the parts where he made whoopee with himself almost.
That was the best. Actually.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I have to go on record.
Because to actually get a true WTF moment in a Nick Cage movie that is all Nick Cage.
Right, you got to go out of
Yeah.
your way.
Yes.
Alan, was Family Man a good movie?
I'm of two minds of this because I enjoyed it while I was watching it, and then I sat and thought about that ending. I was like, I would have cleared this up if I wanted a heartwarming movie. So I am left with the idea that they wanted us to feel a certain amount of ambiguity at the end and loss too. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I guess that's good. I felt bad, but I guess I was supposed to feel bad. So good job, movie.
Was Nick Cage good in this movie?
He's all right in it. There's no like big like Nick Cage cap off moments other than the singing at the beginning.
Okay, I remember.
So he's fine. He does a perfectly fine job.
I remember. That's Elmo's World.
Oh,
Elmo's World.
oh, there's a difference.
Ding, 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 ding. Nick Cage queries Part 2. Is it better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all?
No.
Family Man. Is it better that he had this love and this relationship?
Cash is a demon. He never should have found out about this.
Yeah,
he was
like,
doing great.
I think that
he might have even ended up settling down with somebody.
Well, the one that showed up at his door every day that he woke up with, right?
Well,
like,
maybe not Paula.
but maybe.
She had fun with him.
Paula just might like the D. I don't know. But I don't know. She seemed nice.
He's got a thing for letters. He likes them big. He likes them small. Oh. So what did we learn?
Okay, so I'm going to start with you. What did you learn?
I learned...
What's your notes, by the way?
Fuck. I learned that no one thinks clearly at the airport.
There you go.
Which is why I don't go to airports.
Do you fly ever?
I will never fly again.
Why? Because
I just don't like it. Ever since.
Did you go Spirit? Don't go Spirit.
No, just like people are weird, man. I don't like people. I don't like being locked in the tube with people. I don't like not being able to escape from people.
It has gotten worse since COVID, too.
It's horrible.
Yeah. I think I've flown once since COVID. No.
I fly all the time, and I definitely don't like it.
The last time I flew, I was so uncomfortable by like a conversation that people are having around me about somebody else on the plane that I tried to get off.
Oh, no.
You're not allowed to do that.
I know. No, before we took off.
Not opening the emergency exit.
I asked if I could leave the plane because I was so worried that these people were just going to start some nonsense.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So anyway. No, I learned. Wait. What?
Yeah.
Something about an airport. That's what I learned.
Then throw your notes.
Yeah.
Alan, what did you learn?
I learned don't ruin your life over ghost kids.
Oh, man. Fucking cried the whole time.
See? It's ruining your life.
I know, dude.
now.
I know. It's fucking ridiculous.
Damn ghost kids. Ding, ding, ding.
Ching, 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 ching.
That was... I like the beginning where he was trying to get the guy to come back by ringing it, and then you find out that it's the end, and that's why. And
Yeah. So what did you learn, Clinker?
I learned quite a bit, but mainly I learned to embrace every moment of life because you don't know what kind of friendships you can find along the way. Unbearable weight.
Okay.
He embraced the $1 million thing, and then he found a best friend.
So is this going to end our Nick Cage season?
God, I hope not.
For now?
Well, for now is fine, but in commemoration of that, allow me...
Uh-oh. He's moving back, folks.
Nick fucking Woo Cage!
Yes.
So I think that's a good end to the... We'll put a pin in the Nick Cage season for now.
It's never going to be done. Nick Cage, if you're listening, you should totally come on our podcast.
But that's the beautiful thing about all of our seasons. We've done what? Because we got Starcrash season, which was a whole bunch of science fantasy
Random
stuff.
science fiction.
We did superhero stuff. We did some other things. Time travel movies. Man, we did 2 other seasons. I can't remember what they were. I can't remember what they were. They must have been great.
They were great. Post-apocalyptic.
You want to say that word? Apocalyptic films.
There's another connection to Back to the Future in Family Man.
So what are we going to do next time? I have an idea. I've got an idea, right? I think we've.
Didn't you pitch your idea to us last time?
Yes,
or
but I've got
Did you not do it on the air?
I've got an idea for the next season, but I also have an idea for a bonus episode. Okay?
I thought this was the bonus episode.
No, this is the final episode of the Nick Cage season.
It's not the final episode in the Cage season.
It is the.
And it's our 2024 Christmas episode. Because it's a Christmas movie.
Ding, ding, ding.
It's a Christmas movie.
Even if we were to, so here's what will happen. This is the last episode of the Nick Cage season.
No.
If we do more Nick Cage episodes, we're just going to insert them in before this one.
How? Well,
Like
okay.
this. We're
No,
like,
I
just like
get
this.
it.
Like, I'm making a visual.
You're making a visual. I get it because it's going to take so long for us to edit this.
Yes, potentially. Listen, I'm trying so fucking hard. Not that hard. But no, I have an idea for a bonus episode.
Okay.
All right.
I would like you both to consider for our next episode that we watch Paddington 2.
Yes. Wait. Do we have to watch Paddington 1 to get Paddington 2?
No.
I think we just watched Paddington 2.
There are probably references.
And I think we should watch it on the couch together. Because we have a couch.
And
we can put the
makes
microphones
me
out
cry.
there.
I'm gonna hate you both.
And we can
make us
record
cry.
it. I think we should do it. I think we should become part of Nick Cage's universe by watching the movie. You can put your head on my shoulder if you need to. Here in the living room.
I agree to this experiment.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, folks. All right, from me, Mike Vanderpool, Dr. Alan Barris, and Michael Klink. This has been Nick Cage season. Hooah!
That's Al Pacino.
There's a difference.
Yes.
All right. Say bye, folks.
Bye, everyone.
Insert random yelling.
Oh. Woo. Woo. A-hole. I think that's what he said in one of the movies.